Bien, vamos a continuar con el vocabulario técnico de este módulo 4 que estuvimos viendo. Vamos a continuar aquí donde nosotros quedamos, que tiene que ver con la parte del income tax filing. Este es el proceso, como le explicaba, de depositar, de enviar el reporte de los impuestos. Esto puede referirse tanto a una declaración de un IR2 como a una declaración de un IR13. Ese es el proceso Income Tax Filing. Ustedes ven que cuando lo estamos enviando, dice Submit, eso quiere decir que enviar. El otro término tenemos aquí Manufacturing Overhead. Manufacturing overhead. The overhead is referring to something that is not a direct cost within the manufacturing costs. It means that something related to that you cannot identify in a product is called overhead. And also, it depends on the company, how the company is segregating costs. In this case, manufacturing overhead, we have an example like electricity or utility. It could be also depreciation. It could be like supervisor salaries, for example. So we call it in Spanish like gastos indirectos o costos indirectos de fabricación. These are the manufacturing overhead. We also have the holiday. The holiday is a word that you use in Spanish. So we use it like Spanglish because we said we have a holiday next week, next month. So that's a very common word in Spanish, holiday. The other expression is tax holiday. The tax holiday, for example, is something that is the government is providing like exemption for taxes, to pay taxes to a particular group. For example, in the DR, we have those people that are in the Monte Cristi zone. So in this zone, we have we have some companies that are not paying taxes due to they have a tax holiday. Usually we have a law in the DR that is referring to this tax holiday. One example of how to use it, for example, when is going to be due the tax holiday for this sector? So, ¿cuándo estará vencido la gracia de pagar impuestos, de no pagar impuestos para este tipo de industria? We also have a tax holiday, for example, for free zone companies. We have the law 890. That law is providing a tax holiday to all free zone companies. The other word that we have is weekend. The weekend is as well another word that you use like a Spanglish, because we used to say on weekend, voy a hacer tal y tal cosa. I have a happy weekend, feliz weekend, for example. So that is a very common word in Spanish. We have the balance sheet. The balance sheet is something that we have been talking about through the course, because that is a estado de situación financiera o balance general. Balance sheet. So that is like a snapshot that we have in a company that shows all real accounts. Remember the real accounts? We have the assets, we have the liabilities, and also we have the equity. This is the balance sheet. The other word is vocabulary is income statement. The income statement is something that also we call in English like the P&L. The P&L is something very common. So when you are referring to a estado de resultados, you can say the P&L. So it's easier to pronounce, it's easier to just write it down like a P and L. So in the P&L, we have all the nominal accounts. The tax true up. That's a very common process in the United States and also in the DR, tax true up. So we have a tax true up in March every year because we need to consolidate all the taxes that we already paid during a year. And also we have all the salaries that we have paid to our employees. So we are submitting to the income tax department, in this case, the DGII. So we are submitting a form, which it is IR13. So in this form, we are making like a tax true up because we are saying how much we need to pay for the year for an employee and how much we already paid for these employees. So that means that we need to compare. We must pay this amount. Let's say that we must pay 5,000 pesos in taxes for a specific employee, but we only pay, for example, like 4,500 pesos for taxes for the same employee. So this process, the IR13, is making like a tax true up because it's looking for any discrepancy and maybe you need to pay to the DGII, or maybe the employee has something in advance, so has something to compensate in future withholdings for tax, for income tax. So the tax true up process is something very commonly in the DR when we are making that in March every year, the IR13. The other vocabulary is cash flow statements. So the cash flow statement is a main, very important statement. That's something that is not shown on basic accounting course that you have taken within Infotep. But this is a cash flow statement that you can see when you are studying accounting at the university. So that is the very important statement that shows how much and which activities you spend your money that you earn within a company. The basic accounting equation. The equation for the basic accounting is assets equal to liability plus equity. So we have the basic accounting equation is A equal to L plus E. Activos es igual a pasivos más capital. Assets equal to liabilities plus equity. Point in time. Point in time is something at the precisely moment. So when we are referring to a statement, for example, a financial statement, which is the balance sheet actually. So when we are preparing this within the letterhead, we are writing down like a point in time as of January 31st, for example, or as of December 31st, because the balance sheet is something that you have like a snapshot in a precisely moment. It's not something that you are looking for a range, a period, or something. It is a point in time. Es un punto en el tiempo. Por eso decimos que el balance general o estado de situación es una fotografía en un momento determinado, porque como está en ese momento, es hasta ese momento. Es decir, que no tiene un periodo, no tiene un rango de fecha. Bien. Period of time, period of time. When we are talking about a period of time in the letterhead of income statement or in the cash flow statement, you use like a period of time because we have a period within from January 1st through December 31st, for example. So the income statement is containing a period of time. In the contrary, the balance sheet is only referring to a point in time. End of the year, end of year es a final del año. For example, we can say also year end. At year end, we need to do like adjusting entries. For example, at year end, we may need to do a physical count, inventory count. So those are processes that we are having at year end. So we can say year end, it depends on the context. But you can say year end, and also you can say end of year. And the last one is net income. The net income is the figure, so the amount, el valor, that you can find at the end of an income statement. So in the income statement, you have at the end a net income. So cuando terminamos de hacer el estado de resultados, encontramos al final lo que nos queda, el net income. Net income is like the results for an income statement, a results for a specific period. Hasta este momento, el vocabulario técnico que nos faltaba de este módulo 4. Muchas gracias.